Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're looking at a pistol from Novritsch. Yes, we're looking at the new or latest edition of pistol that's come from Novritsch, which is the SSP28. Now originally when I ordered this, I was messing about a lot with the Maxim 9. Saw a video, I think it was Red Wolf's review. I'd seen previous reviews before it, but thought that, in the Red Wolf review that the one guy liked it, the one guy absolutely slated it. And what I found was, if you look at reviews on this product, it's very one side or the other. You've got people that generally review a lot of Novritsch stuff that, say very good things about it, which can't you trust. And then you've got people that rip it to shreds, which, again, can't you trust. You don't know really what to believe. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to buy one. It wasn't cheap. I had to buy it from Novritsch directly, but there is a bit of a caveat in there because everywhere is out of stock of this pistol. And if you don't know what this is a gas blowback Glock style pistol that they market as, a really fast rate of fire pistol, the fastest rate of fire gas blowback pistol on the market. And I think with Novritsch's marketing, sometimes it's just a little bit, come on guys, you don't really need to do that. So they also, I did see in one of the videos, they were like the first split slide Glock pistol. WE were doing split slide Glock pistols. Yeah, whether they were good or not is another thing, but they were doing split slide Glock pistols over a decade ago, it was a long time ago. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick one up. It is expensive, but then I can tell you guys what I think about it and I can review it as fair as possible. So the only way I was able to get this, because even on Novritsch's website they're out of stock, is I had to buy the semi-auto only version. And what's weird is you can't buy the normal full auto pistol, but you can buy the semi-auto version and then just buy the full auto bits. So it's ended up costing me more to be able to review this pistol with you guys than, Anyway, I bought the pistol. I bought the bits to put it back to being full auto, and I bought an extra 2 magazines. Now, the box that it came in, and this is kind of a bit of a review of buying something off Novritsch's direct website. I took a load of pictures, hopefully I'll show you a lot of them. The box, the shipment, again, to start with, ordered it from Novritsch. I think it was shipped, a few days after that. And then this sat in a UPS warehouse here in the UK for 2 weeks for no reason, just sat in a warehouse for 2 weeks, which I was pulling my hair out with it. But the box came smashed to bits, and everything that I've ordered is in there, so that's kind of a good thing. But one thing that I'll say about this pistol is we'll get to that bit in the review. But you get this little envelope with your order. I'm not sure whether they ship this with everything, but we're going to take a look. I just opened it, but then thought, you know what, I'll carry this on video. So just a bit of bits and pieces from those at Novritsch. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to put it on the screen like that, so if you want to read it, you can pause it. There's an SSP5 patch attached to it, which, to be honest, it's actually a pretty cool patch. And then you flip it over, and then if you want to pause the video, you can read that there as well. So I'm not going to read that. We get a bunch of stickers, which is kind of a cool thing, I appreciate what they're trying to do here. Am I going to use any of these stickers? Absolutely not. You also get a bunch of BB weight stickers to put on your... Don't mix up your BBs. Mark any container or speed loader with these stickers. So I can understand it for speed loaders, but surely if you're buying Novritsch ammo, it comes in a bag or a bottle that signifies what it is anyway. So this gets overused so much. This designed for players, by players, or by airsofters, for airsofters. It gets overused so much. I think just stop. You're a business at the end of the day. It just seems a bit like forced. But got a little pamphlet here. Nice little bit of advertising there. Now, what I do like that came in this envelope is they sent you this. This is like a cheat sheet for your gear going to a game, and it's got 2 sides. So you've got pickup game, And it's basically a checklist that you can go through and just make sure that you're not forgetting something. I forget to take stuff to games all the time. People have asked me about doing, you know, a checklist for when I do like weekend games or mil sims, but you know, here you go. It's got everything you need on there. So nice enough. You get like a little welcome pack there. I have ordered from Novritsch before. I ordered their goggles, the fog system, which, to be honest with you guys, has been running absolutely phenomenally. But the first thing I want to get to, I'll have put the pictures up on screen. If I haven't, I'll put it up now of the package being damaged in transit. And then the box is broken on both ends. And you've got multiple stickers over here. There's like 2 or 3 stickers there. So is this a new product or is it not? Like, they come off pretty easy. So why don't you just peel it off and put another one there? So it's an open product. So I'm not actually entirely sure if this is new or not. We open up the box. We get an SSP28 manual. So I'll just flick through here. You can pause it at any time if you want to read this. So feel free to do that as and when you want if you want to click through. It's just telling you how the gun operates, how to adjust the hop, the usual stuff, barrel maintenance, and then some of the bits and pieces in there, some do's and don'ts, which, yeah, take that as you will. This is a screw to attach the charging handle to the SSP18 or 28 minimal carbine kit. So I suppose if you buy the carbine kit, you might need that screw. Some little gel to absorb moisture. We get 1 magazine in the box, which has a magazine extension on there. So let's see, that just slides off. Actually slid off really easy. And then maybe you could take the extension off. I'm guessing that these mags being extended, yeah, so they'll take more rounds and gas, so it's a usable extension than a normal, you know, G-style pistol magazine. You've got an Allen key underneath there, which is probably for the hop. Nothing underneath the box. Fairly nice packaging. Now, what I will say is this stuff was just loose in a box. There was no bubble wrap. There was nothing protecting things flying around. To be honest, with the hole that was in the box in shipping, I'm surprised everything was in there. Because I was just, as soon as I got the box, I was like, oh yeah, well there goes my spare mags I ordered, but it's all good. Here is the pistol. Now, at first glance, what I'll say is videos that I've seen and people looking at this pistol, I always thought it looked really cheap, but in person, it actually looks and feels rather good. It's very sturdy, which, you know, all this is fixed here, so it's not going to move anyway. The slide reciprocates fairly smooth. Obviously, it's a G-style pistol, so it's going to like roll over the hammer like that and get stuck. The grip, again, is surprisingly comfortable. Now, everyone has their preference with grips. I'm quite particular when it comes to certain styles of gun with the grips, but this one, you've got like a Gen 4 style mag release, and honestly, I don't hate it. I think one of the videos, I'm sure, they were ripping this grip. It might have been the Red Wolf video. They were ripping it, saying it was no good. But honestly, it's not bad at all. Yeah, it's not like a horrendously aggressive texture, but it's far better than some. And what was the pistol I reviewed recently where it was slipping out my hands? I can't remember. It might have been a rifle actually, but yeah, it was the Zev. The Zev was really bad. This is much better than the Zev. It's obviously got their Novritsch branding on it. This to me looks like a lower that they use for multiple pistols in their lineup. Now, I'm not sure if that's correct or not. I might be talking out my arse there, but one thing I did want to note was the release or the catch for the slide is scratched and peened over. Now, you might say, well, they have to test the pistol before they ship it. The scratching on, I think that might just be a bit of grease actually. So you'd like to think that a new pistol that's just been tested wouldn't have so much damage on the slide, but you know, you've got catches on both ends. One thing I did see from other videos which does concern me is the fact that if you pull the slide back all the way, you can actually push the slide release up to where it can catch the wrong part of the slide. So you just need to be careful of that. Why they didn't put it into something where it wouldn't travel back far enough for that to happen, I don't know, but that's just something to be aware of. So I had to buy the semi-only version because they didn't have the full auto version in stock. But yeah, we'll get into it. So we'll take the pistol out, we'll take the magazine out. We don't need the Allen key for now. The box is concerning. I'd hate to think that this is something that someone sent back and then they've sent it back out to me as brand new, but we can. I did buy 2 extra magazines just because I always tend to like to buy the mags that are made for the pistol. That's not to say these will be the best magazines, it's just if it does end up functioning best with the magazine that's the original, I've got 2 spares. So it's a split slide Glock. It looks very weird and funky. Honestly, and this is coming from me, so this does mean a lot, it looks far better in person than it will on camera. Now this is shot in 4K, so hopefully this will look better than other reviews out there, but it does feel and look far better than other videos that I've watched perceive it. Now, I watched a couple of other videos and it kind of looked, some of them, like these parts looked plastic, but they are indeed metal. We've got a 14mm counterclockwise up front, which is great. We don't have to use any adapters. We don't want to be messing around. So if you've got a tracer unit, like something like this Ace Tech Bifrost, we can just spin the tracer unit straight on. We haven't got to buy any weird adapters, and we can just get to business. So I really do like that. They do sell like a squarish style tracer, which supposedly better fits the blockiness of this. It's a very blocky gun. It's not winning any beauty contests, but I think the reason that you're buying this thing is for hopefully the performance and the full auto, which we'll get into. So let's gas these mags up. Now I am using green gas today. I had to buy green gas for the first time in a long time because I've got no propane and I can't get any till later on this week. So we're just going to use green gas, and yeah, hopefully it's just as good. To be honest, the room is probably going to smell a little bit better. So this mag isn't quite accepting as much gas as the first one. We'll persevere with it. So let's quickly see what the blowback action is like. I imagine it's going to be non-existent. Do you know what? I don't hate it. It's for my hands especially. This is fairly comfortable. I hate to say it because of what it looks like, but it is fairly comfortable. I think what people have said about this grip is unfair. I don't particularly like the texture of the plastic. The plastic does feel like it's a cheaper polymer, but and it's got like this weird, like glossy, slightly glossy finish. So I think a better plastic would be nicer, but that's not to say that it's not strong or good enough to do the job. So obviously reciprocates very quickly. Trigger isn't bad, but to be honest, the way that they've done it, normally with Glock style triggers, especially airsoft ones, you have a lot of take up and then you hit the wall. Where this pistol is set from factory, you're right on the wall there, but then it's a really mushy pull to the brake, where a lot of other pistols, you pull it to the wall and then the brake is pretty clean. Not horrendous, but not the best. I was going to say, have we got something to compare it to, but the pistols that are over there I can't show because of what's on them. So nice and fast, and it's on the action of the slide. Let's fill these magazines. And the magazines do fill pretty easy. And we're using 0.25s and green gas. Right, let's just do this quickly for now. We can always jump on the other camera a little bit later. So we're set to 2.5s. What power are we doing? Just under 1 joule. So 0.941, 0.916, 0.891, 0.895, 0.879, 0.873, 0.869, 0.862, 0.858, and 0.85. So we had a few higher readouts at the start there, but it did settle at 0.85 joules. So you'd be safe to use that absolutely anywhere. One thing I will say when you're firing this pistol is you can feel like the reverberation in the springs. So you'll fire it and then you just feel this little vibration, which is like the spring resonance. And there you go. That's how it works. We'll just purge these mags as well. So you always, whenever you get a new gun like this, you always want to shoot it a bit and then refill your mags. To be honest with you, the blowback action is not bad. I was expecting it to be non-existent. It was the way people have slated this pistol, which again is why I wanted to check it out myself, because it was just seems like the criticisms they were giving it, I was like, surely it can't be that bad. Now I have reviewed a few Novritsch things in the past, but yeah, I'd probably say I've got an AAP. I've got a highly customised AAP, but let's see if these mags will work in it. No. I don't have my other AAP with me, but I'd probably say it's like sort of equivalent. Maybe a bit, obviously a bit more than an AAP01, which the AAP01 is a widely accepted pistol. There's more reciprocating mass in this, I feel, compared to the AAP01. So yeah, not bad by all means. More than I was expecting. It's not going to be like any other pistol, but it is what it is. So there is the Novritsch SSP28. Now I need to swap the parts over. I'm sure it's going to be simple enough. I'm really not too sure. So I really don't know with this thing how it particularly comes apart, but maybe we slide it off the front there. Who knows? Who knows? The springs, I imagine, will go all the way up. It does look like it. They travel all the way up here and they latch in at the front. So you know what? Let's have a quick look, shall we? 2mm Allen key. Let's remove these screws on the side. See if we can go about getting this parts fitted to turn it back into what it's meant to be. So those two screws, let's pull the thread protector off. I don't think we're going to need to, but yeah, those two screws, we slide the whole front assembly off. But how does the slide come off? Maybe we just unlatch them. So let's take these springs off here. You can buy like coloured springs as well. I think they do gold ones. So I probably need to take this hop adjuster plate off as well. It would have been nice to get like the RMR mount and such, but literally it's like, here's our new pistol. Look at all these new exciting accessories. None of them are in stock. Which every time I've come to buy something off Novritsch, it always seems to be the case. So pull that off, and then can we just, yeah, we could just pull it to the rear like so. And in this bag, or in this box, we have two springs, and we have the select fire slide, and then we've got all the full auto bits here as well. So let's take a look, shall we? So we're going to need a 2.5 as well to remove that one at the back. Never took one of these apart before, so I am just guessing. I imagine it's going to be pretty similar to other Glock pistols. That just falls off the back there. This full auto piece, which it looks like everything's there. It does have a little grub screw in it. Can we get the blowback unit out? Will it, does it slide out? It push out from the front. So we have two springs. The long one goes on the right hand side, and then you've got a shorter one, which I imagine is to help, like as it's coming to its travel, then you have extra compression on that spring, and that's probably what helps provide the fast rate of fire. Can I figure out this conversion set without having to worry about anything? So that is all gutted, so we've got rid of that. We'll put this piece in here, so we slide that in. Is that all that grabs onto those springs, that tiny little piece of metal there? That might be it. Yeah, I think it is. So we can put these very weird recoil springs on and then slide it back into place. Come on, there we go. Which will hold them springs in place on the unit. And then what we need to think about is we can slot the sight in. That just sits on the back. Oh, like so. And then what we need is we need these parts. So we've got a larger spring, which will be the spring for this piece here. So let's get a little flathead. I'm going to flip this into place if I can get it there. This part is steel. Like that. Pop the spring in, push that down. We need to put the selector in itself. So we've got a small spring that goes in there with a little brass detent piece, which I'm struggling to hold on to. Where are those tweezers? So that just sits in the spring like that. And then what we need to do is locate where this goes in, like that. And then as we're holding it there like that, we're just going to push that detent in. careful that it doesn't shoot out and go elsewhere in your room. Like that. So that's in place. We're going to pop the rear sight back in like that. We've got this other plastic piece at the back which goes in like that, which we use 2.5 for that one, and then we need the carrier. So this is the little carrier here. That is basically what's going to hold everything in place. We'll take the little 2mm screw, sorry, the screw that takes a 2mm Allen key. That goes into your rear sight. And then we've got the one at the back, which is a 2.5, which holds the back of the pistol on. Like that. So that's all secure now. Selector does work. So we can put this together and see what it's all about, can't we? And this is a long video, I apologise. I just think if I'd have left it there for a part 2 and you're not seeing this thing shoot full auto, then you'd have been a little bit disappointed. But we slide this back in. Right, let's put the hop adjuster back on. That part is plastic. Trying to focus on what I'm doing here. So it's a TDC hop, so it should have good performance. Hopefully the I can't see why there wouldn't be, the barrel hop components just being the same as like Marui's type GBB stuff. Slide that back in like that. So it's not horrendous. It's I was expecting it to be worse. You know, I did watch some, you know, well-known YouTubers struggle, like really struggle with it, but it wasn't that bad. I haven't took one apart before. So now we've got the pistol as it was meant to come to us. Now, I don't know if that slides a little bit looser compared to the other one, but now we should have select fire. So semi-auto. We've got full auto. It is quick. I'll give it that. It is quick. And the full auto no longer works. There we go. So it's nice and fast. The full auto is a little bit weird. See, now it doesn't work. Doesn't want to work. What's going on with that? So the full auto is a little bit iffy. Why it's actuating sometimes and not others, I'm not sure. I'm not a fan of the use of plastic components on the back here. There's just a bit too much play. The iron sights are fairly nice. They're very tall posts at the back. They're quite odd, to be honest. They look very cheap, but if they work, they work. So we've got a couple of spare springs which we got with the full auto selector. So we can put that in as a spare. We've got these parts which are from the normal semi-auto part of the pistol. And there you have it, the SSP28. Fun little introduction. I'm not sure why the selector isn't quite as reliable. Now it's fine. So yeah, you're going to burn through your ammo far too quick. It could end up being a fun gun to run on HPA, but we'll get to that in due course. I'm going to wrap it up here because it's a very long video. I want to look at other things, but we'll find that in later parts. But let me know down in the comments section below what you feel and how you think about the SSP28. It's a very bland, boring looking pistol, but it's a lot better than what I was expecting to get, if I'm honest with you, in terms of the quality. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully this has answered any questions. Thanks for sticking through to the end if you have. And if there's anything you want to see on this pistol, put it down in the comment section and we'll give it a test. And as always, from me and from Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.